Rani ma'am, please unmute yourself. You're live now.
It is said, if you find a spark in the dark, grapple it with might. It may be the guiding light for a positive note to fight. Hi, myself, Indrani Chatterjee, your host for today's session. I'm a proud ambassador of the team, the Spectrum Autism, trying to carry essential messages to the community. And I'm also an advocate parent of a proud mother of an adult on the spectrum. Besides, I'm a Rabindra Sangit artist, a blogger, a poetess, and a published author. Today, I have come to execute the 11th episode of Talking Fingers, Voices of 16 Indian non-speaking autistics, a path-breaking book that received amazing response. Is back with the second volume of the book on our platform, the Spectrum Autism. Our platform is committed to create awareness towards role of the community when it comes to supporting families of children on the spectrum and other neurodivergent conditions. So straighten your back to meet our guests for the episode, Madhumita and Atanu Sengupta, proud parents of the twins Srijan and Ahan, the young adults on the spectrum. Both of them are co-authors of the book Talking Fingers. Before I introduce my guests, I would like to give a brief introduction about them. Madhumita Sengupta completed her post-graduation in economics. She had been employed in a state government position, but she chose to take voluntary retirement from it. And come to Atanu sir. Atanu Sengupta earned his PhD in economics from the Indian Statistical Institute in Kolkata. He worked as a professor of economics at a university. You can read more about them and about their thoughts in the link mentioned in the flyer. So with much pleasure, I invite my guests on screen. Hi, Madhumita. Hi, Atanu sir.
Hello.
It's an immense pleasure, and I give you a very warm welcome on our platform. Thank you so much for lending your precious time to narrate to our audience an account of your extraordinary journey with your twin sons. So please say something.
I am Madhumita, the proud mom of Ahan and Srijan, who are the co-authors of Talking Finger Volume 2. I am glad that you have invited me to be a part of such a grand exercise. I am honored to be a part of it.
It's a pleasure, Madhumita, to have you here.
I like to thank Paddaji, without whom the Talking Fingers would not have been possible. Ahan and Srijan were born as twins. Srijan was born 2 minutes earlier. They were premature, underweight. After birth, they are kept in incubators for 2 days. But no other birth-related complications were present there. Bringing them up was a strenuous journey. Both of us were working. We had no family help. Then we had to keep them almost in the hands of the nannies. The childhood days of them, as the children of working parents, their childhood days were very much neglected. Some of their milestones were slightly delayed. We noticed that their speech was not coming after 2 years. We took them to some local pediatricians, And then first the word autism I heard. At first I couldn't get the meaning of the term properly. I studied some materials, and at first I felt devastated. However, my husband was a person of very positive attitude. He thought that they had an ability to do something. He had a belief upon them from the very first day. Actually, he prepared me to mentally to fight with autism. I fell into depression. We went to, after hearing this diagnosis, we went to CMC Vellore. They advised us to continue training them in all the aspects that an infant should be trained, forgetting the so-called nomenclature. We lived 120 kilometers away from Kolkata. At that time, unfortunately, there were very little avenues in our places for special training. We consulted a local speech therapist. He gave them regular therapy, 5 days in a week, for 2 years, in a closed room without our presence. And we were so unaware. But the entire exercise for 2 years was proved to be utterly futile. We live in university campus, so it was easy for his father to give them more time. I couldn't give them more time for my terms and conditions of my job. It is his father who he taught them first writing by some slight physical help, physical touch. Soon they began to write, began to communicate, and they began to express themselves. And we got an entry door to their mind. Of course, they also able to reach us. This helped me to go out of my আমার ডিপ্রেশন কিছুটা হলেও কমলো after this, and they could also, it also helped them to get out from their cell, even without speech. Gradually they learned cycling, swimming. All these achievements gave me a lot of excitement. This helped me in a long way to tackle my emotional problems. I think that parents should concentrate on the training of their children. They must try to teach them any sort of any alternative mode of communication. If we do not do work with them, but our frustration will carry to them. Our children are very intelligent. They can catch up our negative attitude, our underestimations. This can affect their performance also. So continuous work with them will help us to keep us agile and active.
Okay, before we
Okay.
move into the journey further and I go to sir, I would like to give my audience some details about our talented twins. I wish to let my audience know that our twin co-authors have already published 2 books, a collection of short stories titled Pious Role and a translation of Tagore's poems, Kopika. Indeed, quite an achievement, and they can also play tabla very well. So you can understand how talented they are. I would also love to read from Talking Fingers their perspective about their individualism, a way they have introduced themselves in the book. Both introductions are very intriguing, so I would love all my audience to listen to that. It has really touched me. So first I would read Ahan's perspective. Outwardly, I am one of the twin sons of Atanu and Madhumita, but that is not my identity. I am a creator. I can never fasten myself to any fixed parental identity. I am Ahan. I should be remembered only by this. I do not even need any surname. I bereft myself from all ancestral titles. What a courageous answer, I must say. I think I couldn't have also thought this way. Then I would like to read Srijan's perspective. I am Srijan Sengupta. I am aged 21. I live in a happy family with my parents and my brother. I'm an honest boy. I look at myself as a kind of independent thinker who can prosper in life. I think about myself as a confident youth in my 20s. No other sticker is needed for me. Splendid, splendid way of explaining about himself. So, I would now like to move on to Sir. Sir, how did you escort the twins to proceed with the next steps? I mean, how you helped them, how you groomed them, how you found out the positive aspects in them, which can actually shine and make them a better person or give them a better identity in the community. So how have you done that?
First of all, I should be grateful for including us in this grand exercise. And this is the first time that we are being introduced for our sons. This is also a great proud to me as a parent.
Definitely, sir.
Yes, before, and the credit is always to Padmaji, because he enabled us to reach this point. Before that, when they were diagnosed as autistic and non-speaking, all our neighbors and many of our family members and neighbors were looking them at some downgrading eye. But this is the first time we were being recognized as parents of them, which is a great pride to anybody as a parent, whether it's neurodiversity or autistic, and especially to us to speak in such occasions, speak for them, speak for a book in which they are co-author among all the other 16 co-authors. They are a part of a big family. So this is a great, great day for me. I would always remember this day, and perhaps will never be able to forget. It's a great day when I am recognized for my sons. Now, regarding the diagnosis, Madhumita has said, I had read something about autism before their birth. And there I had some idea that it is not so hopeless that people think. They have some disabilities and difficulties, which all of us have. They have to some greater degree and maybe some in some different degree. But at the same time, they have some abilities and some capabilities which others did not have. Now, when we, as Madhumita has already shown, we went to a local pediatric at CMC Vellore and also to Bangalore, to Padivat Karant and other. So what the CMC Vellore and all these institutes, they told us is in clear voice that forget about their disabilities or so-called discomposure or nomenclature, treat them as any other boys and try to give them all type of education, and especially the stress from CMC is give them some ideas and some new concepts. I was first astonished that whether they'll be able to catch the ideas, as Madhumita was, that What? But CMC said no. They have a mind and they will catch. And I also thought that probably they will catch. And then I started to giving them certain. First, I read from many storybooks, from many books and others, and they were not always child level stories or fairy tales, not like that. I told them about various items which are for their age appropriate, also subjects. And what I did that after introduction of writing at a very early age. So what I did is that when I wrote a story, gave them a story, I asked some questions from it, whether they can understand that, and also some implications from the stories, and they very good answered it, and that from that onwards, I understood that they are understanding what I am telling them. And regarding the escorts and all those things, as we always do, like swap hopping, we also went hopping for various experts. And unfortunately, the Bardhaman is 120 kilometers away from Kolkata, as Madhumita said, and we did not have enough experts here to give them training. But one thing we did is that we continuously took them to some social atmosphere without considering what others are reacting. For example, we took them to public vehicle, crowded buses and trains, took them to various fairs, to theaters, to not only to see movies, but also various types of functions. And they were made to sit and made to watch. And this we did from the very early days. Went to public, went to, we also, they also like very much to go to some outing, some short outings, and we took them, and we did them, and this was one thing that we were continuing at the first stage. We are continuously taking them to various public places, and they soon become accustomed to all those things, and to understand what the public would do of that, and at the same time they were writing something, and we were giving them some short stories within the house, and so on. Now, one thing that I recognized is that I also showed them some movie pieces from various classical movies and classical songs, and various types of um, um, foreign movies, also some very popular foreign movies, and also I read from them. And then after some time, I started to read them from some theoretical books, not only the story books or fairy tales, but some theoretical book of various subjects. Obviously, in my subject, economics, and in other subjects, and we tested that how far they have learned, and we understood that slowly and slowly the outcoming that is happening to them today is like is what they have learned and what they have accumulated. And this is the process we continue. Okay.
Have you all throughout adhered them to homeschooling only, or are you sending them to some institutions for any learning process?
No, actually, we send them to some special schools. We did send them to some special schools, but unfortunately, in the Bardhaman area, special schools are not so much well developed, and we are not very satisfied by by what they are teaching. So what we appointed some teachers so they can deal them within our quarters. We are living in a quarter, and so that we can keep a watch on them, because in the schools they were sent to school, but in the schools in the schools here actually they were not reporting about their progress, what they are doing, not doing. So we tried to, we were actually forced to do home training. We send them to schools, and also uh, like all parents also, we tried main schooling, which was a great failure. For 1 or 2 months, they went to the main school also. Now, since they were not very aggressive, so more or less people accepted them, but they were learning nothing from there. They are sitting in the back bench, teachers are not doing them, etc. So all these exercise we did, we changed many schools and etc. as all other parents do. But all throughout the process, the home training was continued. We kept them home training, and we also uh, tried to give them some type of training that has been continued. The next, yeah,
So do you think
that's
home training and this narrating stories to them has actually helped them to shape up as an author? I mean,
yes.
like express their thoughts, their inner views.
Mm.
Do you
I
think that
think
that has really helped them?
this has greatly helped them to as the authors, because in the talking fingers itself they said that we are a creator. Ahan said and Srijan also said, I like to create the world, to create who follow me and etc. So I think these stories have helped them. Means, they were not felt deprived. What happens to our children is that they are not, it is not that they are not intelligent, but if the inputs do not come, then they may at some time think that they are being at the back end and others are going forward. Possibly this did not happen to our sons, because we continuously gave them what type of knowledge is available to us. And so this backwardness they never felt that they are at the best of knowledge and accept all this. This, I think, has helped. The storytelling, actually the storytelling, if you go to the history of storytelling a bit, with time is short, actually it is started by my mother, uh, because grandma do that, and by Madhumita's father. They first started with the joy, and then we see that they are listening the story, and then we continued from it. And there was also one maid who used to tell them stories and like this. So this has obviously greatly helped them. The storytelling and then all those procedures.
So it's kind of a multiple source that was that were helping them out.
Yes.
And I think parents are the best tutors, and no one can actually replace them. So before that, I would like to read something from Talking Fingers again. It's about questions that were forwarded to them by Talking Fingers, and they have answered it so prudently. So I want my audience to learn about it. Yes, the question that was put forward, your thoughts on the myth that non-speaking is the same as non-thinking. So that was the question, and what Ahan Sengupta has offered is, I think that speech and language are different concepts. Speech is expression, language is accumulation. When accumulated, it can be expressed through many ways. Speech is not the only way. It's really a very prudent answer. And then Srijan has to say about this, I think that speech has nothing to do with thinking. Thinking is a different process from speech. In fact, it has no relation. Dumb people can think, though they cannot speak. We feel they come from a different faculty. This has to be understood. So well explained. I'm really touched by the answers. So now coming to Madhumita, can you kindly share with our audience the transformative impact that Talking Fingers has had on your life? I mean, getting connected to them, how it has changed your life, how it has enhanced your life as well as Ahan and Srijan's life.
Talking finger is an eye-opener to us. It helped us to understand that there are many other kids like Ahan and Srijan. They cannot talk, but they can express themselves through writing. I am grateful to Brototi, who introduced us to Pataji. Brototi, Aratrik's mom, informed me that Pataji was planning to publish the second volume of Talking Fingers, where our children could be included. Then we came into contact with Paddaji, and the entire contributions of Ahan and Srijan to Talking Finger 2 was materialized. I am grateful to Paddaji for giving the chance of my sons to be the co-author of Talking Finger 2. I also grateful to Paddaji for crafting such beautiful and intelligent questions that enabled Ahan and Srijan to speak out their mind. It also helped us. We learned from their answers the new dimensions about them. For example, Srijan, I never knew that Srijan liked the tabla rhythm so much. We were giving them tabla lessons sometimes before this. We rather surprised to find that Srijan's great attraction towards tabla rhythm. He said that he emulated the tabla maestros in his dream. Similarly, I learned from their answers that the happiest day of Ahan was when he first rode his bicycle. By this, he has achieved something which other thought he could not achieve. Here is another thing. Here, Ahan revealed that his favorite song is a Bengali song from Tagore, Ulushoi, Ulushoi, Ichhe kore toder moto moner kotha koi. He translated, oh my dear friend, my friend, I also want to speak out all my mindset. This is a plea to a girlfriend. Shoi means girlfriend. Suddenly, I realized that my little boy has grown up. The questions of that were asked in Talking Finger were not very easy. Those questions are also new to us. Never was asked such questions to them. The experience of Talking Fingers 2 gave us a lot of confidence. This also inspired us towards publication of their other books, Payasrol, Konika, and also Bengali rhymes. Payasrol is a collection of short stories of various lengths written by Ahan and Srijan. And Konika is a short poem books of Rabindranath Tagore. They translated it in English. And Bengali rhymes contain some popular Bengali rhymes translation. All this possible for, again, for Taji and for the experience of Talking Fingers 2.
Just the extended help and you can do so much. And I was so fascinated to know so many talents about both Srijan and Ahan. So I have just been through some of the questions that they have forwarded. Now, I would also like both of you to tell me separately that if you have any message to the community, what you expect from the community or what message you want to convey to the community that can actually help the journey of neurodivergent.
Autism is very individual specific. It is very difficult to give any generalization in this regard. But still, I say that parents should not lose hope upon their children. They should believe their children. Because the belief of parents boosts them up. There are always ways to enable them to learn something. Empathy and innovation is important. you please keep the goals very small. If it's possible, break it up in small parts, and you, of course, you can achieve it. It is like a hilly road. The opposite side cannot be seen unless you can reach in a peak. So don't lose your hope, and continue to work on with your children. This is my message.
So, how do you want the community to interact with you all so that it helps spread their talent and it helps them to socialize also? I want to know your view about that as well. How do you want the community to reach out to you all?
No, actually, uh, what I am to say, since my subject is economics, the first thing that I want to say, already there is some literature that these our children should have some special rights and privileges which are not there. It should be accepted that they are not peculiar type or animal type. They are human beings. They have their feelings, and uh, as and they should be given some rights and privileges. I am hearing the victory speech of the Biden, the American president, and there he uh, clearly spelled about that the rights and privileges that should be given to the section. But no such thing are coming in the present. We are going on through election campaign, but I have not seen much of it. So this is the first thing, that their rights and privileges should be given. And another thing that is very important is that generally the people, most of the neurodivergent people and all those, they speak, when they speak of deprivation, they speak of the poor and so on, so-called caste and etc. Their deprivation, but our children's deprivation is much more, because they may not be able to always uh, give such a loud voice to what they are wanting to say, and so this is a great problem. So if you can say, there can be some people around you, but if you are not been able to say such loudly, or if other people are howling you out, then you cannot speak what you want to say. For example, I have seen many uh, kids in special school. I had some experiences in public transport and etc. The people are behaving peculiarly to them. That should not be they should be given some space, and neither pity nor that. There should be, and as we know that now we have come to a community, we should also praise that thing, that which is there maybe in some of the Western countries. I had some unhappy experience, which uh, uh, I want to say that when once I was visiting my place, I not exactly know its name, and Ahan, actually, what they do steaming with their fingers or something like that, and some people were offended, and they came to in a mood that is as if to beat them up. Then we have to say that they are special child. Now, this type of thing, why should it be there? Why in the airport? Why should not be a special type of gateway? In some of the airport is already there. Similarly, in trains, in buses, there should be some special arrangement for them so that they feel ease. In airport also, I had some unhappy experience because they have to send them singly, all those um, security check, and um, and after the check they are standing as it is, because without the they do not know. Then I said that please let him go. So whether there is some problem or not. So these type of things, the awareness of the community, the advocacy of the parents, that is very important. I think that the awareness is rising. Is better when we have started, say, 20 years before when they were kids. Now awareness is much more. But still, a lot is to be needed. In hotels also, sometimes they are said that give them signature, and all of them are not able to give signature. So all those things, in the voting also, they should be make some. So I think that the community should be aware of their needs and of their rights, and some because according to what our economist teacher, the Motto Sense teacher, this is not special privileges. Everyone has something to give to the society, and you should provide that space so that they can be given. So this is my plea to the neurodivergent society, that please give them the space to perform, and then you judge them, not before that. This is the very urgent thing that we need. We know that what happened in uh, I think in one of the air spice jet or something, what happened a few months before, etc. So this is all because lack of awareness and lack of. So this thing is really hurting with it. Even in 2023, we are not yet aware. So I think that is very important, that we should play the advocacy role. We should not be ashamed or afraid or something like that, because it is a level. Suppose as Srijan has said here, my father cannot read without spectacle. If you remove my spectacle, I will become an apahi or disabled. So similarly, those who cannot hear, they will have ear plugs. So why not for them? They should be given that space to play that.
Definitely. They should also be given their own space, and so that they can also feel comfortable when they're in social circumstances, or when they're going out for some business, for some purpose. Definitely, sir. This arrangement has to be done, and for that, we have to bring in more of awareness. We have to educate people about this. Then only I think gradually there will be more facilities available, because people also do not take much interest unless they are being involved in the process. So we have to step by step involve more and more people of the community, so that they come forward and they actually try to understand our journey. That is also important. So for that, we also have to reach out to them. We also have to take our own initiatives. We just cannot say that, okay, we'll not communicate. So communication has to be both ways. It's from the society as well as from our part as well. So that's what I feel. That will make the proper alliance between us. And before we wind up the session, I would love to read something more from Talking Fingers, because what they have written here has actually fascinated me so much. I just can't stop. The question forwarded was, your thoughts on the myth that autistics lack empathy and theory of mind. So here Ahan has to say, I think all minds have empathy, otherwise they cannot exist. This is true for autistic persons also. I feel so. If you call me autistic, I have empathy. And what Srijan has to say is, autistics are not aliens. They have no inhibitions about feelings. Only their expression is different. They might show it overtly, but by hugging. They might express it through physical movement. So how prudently they have written, and how much power is there in their expression. And that has astonished me. I was truly engrossed when I was reading through their answers. Superb. I mean, they have such a super way of expressing themselves. You really have very talented voice.
Imrani ma'am, please look at the chat. There are some messages from the audience also. Zoom chat.
It is not there on the screen, so I can't see them.
Okay, in that case, let me read it out. We have Rashmi Sood who's watching and says parents' efforts bring about changes in the child's. Other than the parents, no one can help a child understand. Of course, interventions help. That too with parent support. Then we have Tanushri Nagsaha who says very talented twins in Srijan and Ahan. And kudos to the parents for raising them so amazingly with all their patience and perseverance. Bratati ma'am is watching and she's very proud of both of you. And she says, I know Ahan and Srijan when they were kids. They had great skills even those days. Later, they developed the skills of handwriting and then typing. I must mention the dedication of Madhumita Di and Dr. Sen. Madhumita Di gave up her career as a government officer to raise them. I really admire them. There are very many more. Nina Girish says, very true. They should have rights, their own rights and privileges. She's talking about autistic young adults and their rights and privileges. So there are many more comments in the section. So you can check them out later. Thank you so much.
So those have come from our audience, and we are really thankful for their support, that they have been listening to the entire session with patience. This is how community develops awareness, when you're patient enough to listen to someone's journey. So I think that is very important, and I really thank my audience for listening to us so patiently. So with that, more or less, we come to the end of our session, and this has been a really effectual and productive discussions we had from you both. And I think this will enlighten all of us and will give us more insights towards our journey with our neurodivergent children, that they can also be talented. They can also show their talents to the world. So I'm really thankful to both of you once again for coming to our platform and gracing our platform and giving your precious time to it. So thank you so much, both Madhumita and Sir.